my pants and do the rock away. Now lean back, lean back, lean back. Come on, I said my niggas don't dance, they just pull up my pants and do the rock away. Now lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back. Come on, lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back. Come on, lean back.
Today we're taking a look
Lean
at
back,
a
lean back,
one of my favorite niche houses out there. This is bottle number 10 for me from this house. This is the latest from this house, and this one is called Noir Exquis. And L'Artisan has re-released some older scents recently, but it's been a minute since they've done anything really brand new, you know, minus some scents in their Explosion the Emotion collection or Calignia. So when I saw this was on deck, and that this was a gourmand done by Bertrand Duchaufour, and I actually do have a video planned for my top 5 favorite perfumers, so on a side note, but when I saw all that, this was a no-brainer for me, and so I did blind buy this one. If you're interested in the history of this amazing house started by the great Jean-Francois Laporte, please watch the video that I did on Coeur de Vetiver Sacra. That's the first fragrance that I bought from L'Artisan. I have done several reviews since then. I will get to review every bottle that I have from this house. The ones that I own, so I own this, I own Coeur, I own Zing, I own Zanka, I own Timbuktu, I own Vanille Absolument, I own Tea for Two, I own Bois Farine, I own Traversée du Bosphore, and I own Skin on Skin from the Explosion the Emotion line. And guess what, guys, there's probably at least another 10 that I want in my collection. Not sure which will be next. I'm thinking perhaps Mon Numero number 10 from the Numero line. If I go from the regular line, it'll probably be Fou d'Absinthe. This one came out this year, so it's new. Came in 2 sizes, 50 ml and 100 ml. The 50 ml that you see in front of you will run you $120. The larger size is going to be $180. You can get this at Twisted Lily or Lucky Scent or any L'Artisan retailer. Now, Barney sells L'Artisan, but I went in a few times to see if I could get my nose on this, and they didn't have it, so I don't know what that's about. So I did order mine from Twisted Lily. It really is my preferred destination. I was allowed to get some samples, and I picked 3, and the 3 that I got, just to let you guys know, is I picked Autumn by Desun, which is a house I featured on Scent Safari, if you remember. I picked Sunshine Man by Amouage. I was really interested in smelling that one. And I picked number 33 by Penhaligon's, which is a new eau de cologne that they did. So I got this one from Twisted Lily. The perfumer on this one is Bertrand Duchaufour. The notes on this one, chestnut and orange at the top, orange blossom, coffee, and maple sap in the middle, ebony, heliotrope, vanilla, tonka bean, and sandalwood in the base. You see with the notes why I needed to get my hands on this one. Now, as far as your presentation goes, you have a black box. Noir Exquis is written very, what's the word I'm looking for? You can see it pretty easy. In gold, Noir Exquis, the Artisan Parfumeur. They used to have a description of the fragrance there, not on these bottles. On the back, you have directions about this one. Hopefully, you don't need those at this point in watching my videos. The bottles, you know, someone mentioned on one of my wrap-up videos that this is their favorite, or one of their favorite bottles of all fragrances. I totally get that. They're gorgeous. They really are works of art. You have L'Artisan etched on the side. You have a very heavy gold cap, a really nice atomizer, and you have Noir Exquis written on a sticker in that same black and gold color. Okay, but what does this fragrance smell like? So let's start off with this. This is a really pleasant scent. I mean, I sprayed this on, and as soon as it hit my skin, I was like, yes. And what I was most excited about was the fact that this is not a clone of New Harlem or I Love New York for All. This is its own beast. And what I get out of this one is chestnut, almost like chestnut with an orange liqueur, some very faint orange blossom, some coffee, some maple, and a sandalwood base with some vanilla. And this one is going to open up as you spray it with some coffee, some maple sap. I'm saying sap instead of syrup because this is not as sweet as you think it might be. You've got the coffee, you've got the maple, you've got a chestnut note. Yes, it is a bit like chestnuts roasting. And then as this one progresses, it becomes orange, almost like a triple sec or Grand Marnier note. You get a touch of orange blossom. And then as it dries down, the base is really, to me, a gorgeous sandalwood with some vanilla and tonka. Now, the inspiration behind this one for Du Chauffeur was sort of a rendezvous with two people meeting at a Parisian coffee shop with pastry. And I really feel like Du Chauffeur achieved that to a T. That is an apt description of what this fragrance smells like. What I love about this one is it is really unique. Du Chauffeur sometimes for me is a little too comfortable repeating fragrances. Traversée du Boss 4 to me is very close to Skin on Skin. Vanille Absolument or Havane Vanille is very close to 1697 by Frapon. So much so that I don't actually think it's prudent to own both. This one, thankfully, is its own beast. And while it's not Du Chauffer's first gourmand by any stretch of the imagination, I think it's the best that I have smelled. But where this one gets tripped up a little bit is in the performance. This is an EDP. It lasts for a good amount of time. You'll get 6 to 8 out of this one if you have drier skin. If you have skin that gives you like good performance normally with fragrances, you probably get 8 to 10, but it doesn't project that well. Now maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. It really is a cozy, cuddly, sexy sort of scent made to say, come closer and smell. But then I would also want to be noticed with this one, and that is going to be a little bit hard to happen. It's a very unisex scent right down the middle. To me, a true definition of gourmand. And while this is a cold weather scent through and through, it is one you can get away with doing the spring. But I honestly think, guys, that this is a scent you're going to want to enjoy when the weather is colder. I feel like it was made for that. And thankfully, not all the time are scents released in that time frame, and so I'm happy that that's the case with this one as well. If you're not able to get this, or you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, there's not a million that I can name. One that I do get a similar vibe from is a fragrance that I featured on Scent Safari called Chai, by a house called Baruti out of the Netherlands. Now, that fragrance had something in it that I did not like, and it's also here, but for some reason I don't dislike it here. And there's not too many notes in common minus the vanilla, and I don't think it's the vanilla. Another scent though that this is getting a lot of comparisons to that I haven't been able to smell yet is the newest fragrance from Maison Martin Margiela's replica line called By the Fireplace or In the Fireplace, something fireplace. That's supposed to have a roasting chestnut note, so that has drawn comparisons to this. I haven't smelled that, so I can't comment. But if you're looking for the same vibe, yeah, you can grab New Harlem. That's different though because it has the lavender. You can grab I Love New York for All, which is going to be a little bit more gourmand than this. It has like a cocoa note in that one. Or you can grab Dries Van Noten by Frederick Malle, which was also inspired. That was actually inspired by a Flemish bakery and pastries in that bakery. So they're similar. That one is really more about the sandalwood. So those are really the scents that I would recommend that give me this vibe personally. If someone were trying to talk you into purchasing this fragrance, I think they would tell you, and then on the real low end, actually very quickly, Elegant Sombra by Perfumes by Terry is sort of an anisey, orange liqueur sort of gourmand scent that's like $15. They're not 100% similar at all, but it's that same vibe. That one is a lot sweeter as well, Elegant Sombra, and it's a lot cheaper. obviously. So if someone's trying to talk you into picking this one up, I think they're going to tell you that that it's an original Du Chauffeur fragrance. This is L'Artisan Parfumeur. A lot of people think this is the first niche fragrance house in the world, so you're going to get that L'Artisan quality. It's a gorgeous gourmand. It smells really natural. There's nothing synthetic here to my nose, and I'd be surprised if this one isn't going to get some hype train. If someone were trying to talk you out of this one, I think they would just say that the performance might be a little sketchy for $120 EDP. And then I think they also would tell you that if you wait with L'Artisans, the price is going to come down. You're probably going to be able to get this for half price next year on FragranceNet or one of those sites. For me, this was easy, guys. This is a really solid 8 out of 10. The only points I'm taking off here are for performance, and again, because this will be half price in a year. If you can drop the $120 and you're looking for a cold weather gourmand that's new and isn't going to be in people's faces, has some restraint and some sexiness, this is a really good answer. If not, I think you could sit on the sidelines and wait this one out. Being a fan of Du Chauffeur, being a fan of L'Artisan, loving gourmands, I couldn't fuck around. I need to get this one, and I'm not really buying a lot of fragrances now because I'm putting on my paper for the next couple of months on an iPad Pro, which is gonna run me a ridiculous amount of money. But I couldn't sleep on this one, and at 120, it's not that bad for niche. So I fucked with it, and that's it, guys. You expect to see this in my full starting lineup. I'll see you next week with more videos this weekend.
Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breeze is blowing. A crazy lady living in a bag, eating out of garbage pails, used to be a fag hag, such a dance to tango, skipped the life and tango, a certain